chosen one. Stop for a moment. Let the noise fade. Heaven has pressed pause on everything around you because this message is not just another passing word, it is a divine interception. You were not drawn here by accident. The very rhythm of your heartbeat has been synchronized with eternity for this exact moment. You are being called to listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. God knows your heart. Every sigh you've hidden from others, every silent prayer that never found words, He has heard them all. You've walked through nights that stretched too long, moments where faith felt fragile and hope seemed like a distant echo. Yet even in that hidden ache, heaven was watching. The watcher of hearts has never turned away. You may have thought you were forgotten, but God has been tracing every step, collecting every tear, shaping every pain into purpose. Listen carefully now, for this is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. The same spirit that hovered over the chaos in Genesis is hovering over your life tonight. God is searching not for perfection, but for authenticity. He looks deeper than appearance. He looks into intention. There is a light within you that even darkness cannot comprehend. And though the world may have misunderstood you, heaven calls you known. You've asked, Lord, do you still see me? And the answer comes resounding from heaven, yes, I see your heart, your longing, your weariness, and I have not turned away. Chosen one. When the world saw your failures, God saw your fight. When others judged your silence, heaven interpreted your tears. Every moment you stood when you could have fallen, every time you forgave when bitterness would have been easier, these were seen, honored, recorded in eternity's book. The Spirit of God is saying to you right now, your faith has not gone unnoticed. The quiet obedience that no one celebrated, the kindness you gave when it cost you everything, those are the treasures heaven values most. You have walked through seasons of refining, where the fire of disappointment burned hot around you. You thought it was punishment, but it was preparation. The master potter was shaping the vessel, not breaking it. You are being formed into something that can carry His glory without cracking under the weight. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, for the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it lingers, wait. It will not delay. Beloved, that delay you feel is not a denial, it is divine timing. Heaven's clock doesn't tick like the clocks of men. While you were waiting, God was working. He was moving people, adjusting circumstances, refining your motives, and teaching your spirit to discern truth from distraction. Listen before tomorrow morning arrives. A shift will occur in the spirit. The Lord is aligning what seemed scattered. Doors you didn't even knock on will open because He has seen your heart and knows your integrity. This is why others couldn't take your place, because only a heart purified by pain can carry this next assignment with humility. You've been misunderstood, rejected, even mocked for your faith. But do you not know, the very rejection you endured was heaven's redirection. God hid you so that what was meant for your harm could not destroy your purpose. While they talked, He taught. While they doubted, He developed. And while they left, He loved. Chosen one. Your name has been spoken in heaven's council. Angels have been dispatched because of your faithfulness. You have wrestled with questions, but you never abandoned your calling. Tonight, heaven whispers, I know your heart, and I am pleased. No, so lift your head. You are not behind schedule. You are on divine time. Every delay, every detour, every denial, it all served a sacred purpose. What was lost will be restored. What was hidden will be revealed. And what was broken will be made beautiful in the hands of the one who never wastes pain. Before you sleep tonight, speak this truth aloud. He knows my heart. For this is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter where favor meets obedience and promise meets faith. Chosen one. If this word has reached your spirit, do not stay silent. Type 77 in the comments as a prophetic act of agreement that your heart remains open and aligned with heaven. Let the world know that faith still breathes in you, and that you are ready to walk into tomorrow with peace and purpose. And if you have not yet done so, subscribe, like, and share this message, not for numbers, but for the souls that need to remember they are seen, they are loved, and they are chosen. You have carried more than most. Chosen one. There are burdens no one else knows about, the kind that bend your spirit but never break it. The weight of unanswered prayers, the loneliness that follows obedience, the questions that echo in silence. You smile in public, but heaven sees the tremble in your hands when no one is looking. God knows. He has not only seen your pain, he has felt it with you. There were nights when you thought, no one would notice if I disappeared. Yet heaven noticed. The very breath in your lungs is proof that your purpose is not over. Every time your heart kept beating through heartbreak, it was divine confirmation that you were still on assignment. God does not allow the chosen to collapse under the weight of temporary pain. He strengthens them to transform pain into power. You've been walking through hidden valleys, carrying a light that others can't see. Sometimes you question if that light still burns, because weariness has dimmed your vision. But the flame inside you isn't fading, it's refining. The darkness you're facing is not punishment, it's preparation for revelation. Before dawn, the darkest hour always tests your faith. And that's where you are right now, standing between midnight and miracle. Heaven whispers, do not lose heart. Every silent battle has been seen, every tear recorded, every sigh translated into intercession before the throne. The same God who saw Hagar weeping in the wilderness has seen you right there. Between hope and heartbreak, you thought the silence meant abandonment. But silence was the sound of heaven strategizing your rescue. You are not just surviving, you are being shaped. Every disappointment carved deeper compassion into your soul. Every rejection refined your discernment. Every moment you chose love when hate was easier became a seed of righteousness planted in heavenly soil. Listen carefully. What you call weakness, heaven calls evidence. Evidence that your heart still beats with divine purpose. The enemy wanted you bitter, but you stayed soft. He wanted you cold, but your spirit still burns. You have been tried in the fire, and yet your heart remains tender. That's the mark of the chosen. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This scripture is not just comfort, it is reality. When you broke down, he bent low. When you wept, he wrapped you in unseen arms. You are not forsaken, you are being formed. God is not disappointed in your weakness. He delights in your dependence. He never expected perfection. He expected pursuit. And even when you doubted, you still sought him. That's what makes you different. You may not see it, but your pain has been producing oil, the kind of spiritual anointing that only comes from pressing. Heaven has used every heartbreak as a tool of refinement. The crushing of your plans released the fragrance of surrender, and that fragrance rises to heaven as worship. Chosen one, your current season may look like silence, but silence is sacred. God often hides his greatest work in stillness. The soil of obscurity is where destiny takes root. You are growing underground, away from applause, far from recognition, but roots must deepen before fruit appears. Heaven is saying, do not rush what I am refining. Alim, there will come a day when those who doubted you will see the glory that was being formed in secret. They will realize that the weight you carried was not a curse but a calling. You were not overlooked, you were preserved. God kept you hidden because exposure too early would have destroyed what he was building in you. So breathe. You are safe in his timing. The heaviness you feel is not a sign of defeat, but evidence of depth. The more you carry in secret, the more heaven trusts you in public. The Lord is teaching you endurance, the kind that doesn't depend on applause but on his presence. Remember, God never wastes pain. Every tear has a purpose, and every wound carries wisdom. You will look back and see that the very things that tried to destroy you became the foundation for your ministry, your message, your mantle. The world sees scars as evidence of brokenness, but heaven sees them as proof of battle-tested faith. You have survived what others could not, because grace has been holding you even when you couldn't hold yourself. So tonight, as you sit with the weight of your thoughts, know this: heaven has not forgotten you. God is still writing your story, and every hard chapter will make sense when the final page is turned. You are not behind. You are becoming. You have been walking through days that test your strength and nights that test your faith. Sometimes you wonder if anyone truly understands the depth of your battle. The truth is, most people don't, but heaven does. God has been listening to every word you haven't said, the ones buried deep in your chest. He doesn't just hear your prayers, he hears the emotions behind them, the frustration, the weariness, the longing for something more. Chosen one, your silence is not weakness. It's sacred restraint. You could have lashed out, but you chose peace. You could have quit, but you stayed. Heaven took note. The strength you carry isn't loud. It's quiet, steady, and pure, and it terrifies darkness because endurance is something the enemy cannot imitate. There's a reason your journey feels heavier than others. You were never meant to live a shallow life. You were meant to go deep, deep into obedience, deep into surrender, deep into faith that holds steady even when logic collapses. Every storm that hits your life has divine permission, not for your destruction, but for your revelation. God is revealing who you really are when everything else falls apart, when the fake fades, when people leave, when comfort disappears. What remains is truth, and that truth is this: you were chosen, not for ease, but for endurance. You were trusted with trial because heaven knew your heart would not turn away. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 17, verse 10. I, the Lord, search the heart and examine the mind, to reward each person according to their conduct, according according to what their deeds deserve. Oh, this verse is not meant to scare you, it's meant to assure you. The one who truly knows your motives has been watching all along. Every act of kindness that went unnoticed, every sacrifice made in silence, every time you chose faith over fear, he saw it. Others may have misjudged your intentions, but heaven never did. There is a reward for integrity. When you refuse to compromise your character, even under pressure, you plant seeds that heaven will water in due time. The fruit might not appear immediately, but the roots of righteousness run deep. Soon, what was done in secret will be honored in the open. You have been walking faithfully in small things, and that is exactly why bigger things are being prepared for you. God doesn't measure greatness the way the world does. In the kingdom, faithfulness is the highest form of success. The unseen obedience of the chosen is more powerful than the loud performance of the proud. Listen carefully now. The weariness you feel isn't the end of your story. It's the stretching before the breakthrough. You've been waiting for doors to open, but heaven has been waiting for your strength to settle. God will not open a door you're not ready to walk through with wisdom. So, if it feels like delay, it's actually divine timing. There's something holy about this waiting season. It's teaching you to depend, to discern, to draw closer to the source. The Lord has been stripping away distractions because what He's preparing for you cannot coexist with confusion. Your next season requires clarity, and clarity only comes from stillness. Do not despise the quiet. The world screams, but heaven whispers. The most powerful instructions are often delivered in silence. So lean in. Let your spirit listen more than your mouth speaks. You are being trained to hear what others miss, to sense divine movement before it manifests. Chosen one. The evidence of divine favor is not in everything going right. It's in you remaining right when everything goes wrong. Your peace in chaos is a prophecy of what's coming next. The more you choose peace, the more heaven expands your influence. You may feel unseen, but this is your proving ground. Heaven doesn't promote untested hearts. Before crowns are given, crosses are carried. Before reward comes refinement. You are not being punished. You are being prepared to reign. Now, pause and breathe in deeply. Let the truth settle in your soul. God knows exactly where you are and why you are there. You have not missed your moment. What is meant for you is still coming, and it will arrive right on time. If this word has stirred something within you, declare your faith in a simple way. Comment, "I still believe." Say it as a statement, not just of hope, but of conviction. When you type those words, you're not talking to an algorithm. You're declaring to heaven and to your own spirit that your belief still stands. It means, though I've been weary, my heart is still open. It means, even when I don't see it, I trust that God's hand is working behind the scenes. No, because belief is not about perfect circumstances, it's about unwavering trust. And tonight, heaven smiles on those who still believe. The testing of the chosen has never been gentle, and you know this by experience. You have felt the heat of trial, the pressure of the unseen, the loneliness that comes from walking a path few can understand. You've been asking why the storms won't end, why the weight keeps returning, why peace sometimes feels delayed. But heaven has whispered quietly all along, what you're enduring is not punishment, it's The fire you feel is not meant to consume you, but to clarify what is eternal within you. The truth is, untested faith remains shallow. Only through the flames do you discover the unshakable parts of yourself, the parts that cannot be broken by circumstance or silenced by fear. Chosen one. When life stripped away your comfort, it was never to leave you empty. It was to expose the foundation on which you truly stand. The shaking that frightened you was heaven revealing what could not be moved. Every time something was taken, what remained was something God Himself placed inside you. You thought you were losing everything, but in reality, you were being reduced to what is divine. There is a holy paradox in suffering. The very things that seem to weaken you are the same things that awaken you. The pain that made you weep also deepened your compassion. The betrayal that cut deep taught you discernment. The loneliness that broke you created intimacy between you and your Maker. Heaven wastes nothing, not even heartbreak. The Spirit of God has been watching your endurance with joy. Every day you kept believing was a day. Hell was silenced. Every moment you chose mercy over vengeance. Heaven celebrated. You are not enduring for nothing. You are gathering unseen rewards that will one day be made visible. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 10, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." M2. This blessing is not abstract, it is real. It means that your struggle for integrity, your decision to stand for truth, your refusal to compromise, even when tempted, have all placed you in the company of the righteous. Heaven has marked your perseverance as holy evidence that you belong to the kingdom. So do not despise the fire. Do not run from the furnace. Every chosen one has a refining season, and yours is sacred. The Lord is crafting your spirit to carry weight that others cannot. The same pressure that seems unbearable is producing eternal endurance within you. The testing has also taught you to see differently. You no longer look at pain as random. You recognize it as divine instruction. You have learned that not every storm is an attack. Some are lessons sent in disguise. Through each difficulty, heaven has been teaching you how to listen beyond fear, how to rest even when surrounded by chaos. You have walked through rejection and realized it was direction. You have faced closed doors and discovered that protection sometimes wears the mask of disappointment. You have prayed for clarity, and instead of quick answers, God gave you growth. The lessons you are living are preparing you for influence that can only rest on shoulders shaped by experience. In every trial, you have gained something no comfort could have given you: depth. You have seen how fleeting the applause of people can be, how fragile worldly success feels, and how steady divine presence remains. You have tasted the difference between happiness and joy, and now you crave the lasting kind that only heaven provides. The pain that once seemed cruel is slowly being revealed as sacred. You can now recognize beauty in the breaking. The moments that humbled you have become the ones that equipped you. You used to pray for ease, but now you pray for strength, and that's how you know you've grown. Chosen one. Refinement is not forever. Every fire has an appointed end. The gold must be removed from the flame once it shines pure. So take heart. The heat you feel is a sign that completion is near. You are almost through the testing phase. What awaits you is the unveiling of everything God has been forming within you. Do not rush out of this process. Let patience finish her work. The foundation of your faith is being fortified so that when blessings come, You won't crumble under their weight. The same fire that once frightened you will soon serve as your testimony. You will say, I walked through flames, and yet I did not burn. For that is the mark of the chosen, not that they avoid the fire, but that they emerge from it transformed, shining brighter, carrying the fragrance of heaven wherever they go. You have been walking through shadows long enough. Chosen one, it is time to rise again. The same God who saw you fall has already written your resurrection into the story. You are not meant to stay buried beneath fear or regret. You were born with divine elasticity. Heaven placed in you a spirit that bends but does not break. Life may have knocked you down, but that was never your final position. You are a seed, not a stone. A seed may disappear beneath the ground, but that's not death. It's destiny unfolding in darkness. What looked like the end was actually the beginning of your becoming. Every tear watered what God planted inside you. It was in the dirt, in the unseen, that your roots grew strong. People may have forgotten you. Circumstances may have pressed you. But heaven was working underground, ensuring that when you rise, nothing will be able to uproot you again. You are coming out of this season not as who you were, but as who you were meant to be. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. No, this ancient promise is still alive for you today. You don't have to fight every battle alone. Sometimes strength looks like stillness. Sometimes victory begins with surrender. God has seen how hard you've tried to hold everything together. But this time, He's asking you to let Him hold you instead. You may feel unsteady, but heaven calls you rising, like a phoenix lifting from ashes, like dawn breaking through endless night. You are stepping into a new dimension of strength. The same hands that allowed you to be pressed are now lifting you up. What once wounded you will soon become the very testimony that heals others. Your pain will become your platform, and your story will carry light into dark places. You will speak not as someone who avoided the storm, but as one who survived it. That's why your voice carries weight. It has been baptized in both fire and grace. Chosen one, as you rise, do not despise small beginnings. Even the sun doesn't explode into daylight. It climbs slowly over the horizon. Your healing may unfold the same way, step by step, breath by breath, day by day. The light is returning, and with it comes clarity, peace, and purpose. There is something beautiful about starting again. It's like breathing fresh air after being underwater for too long. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to have a willing heart. God can work with that. He can turn fragments into foundations, ashes into art, pain into power. The world around you may not notice this transformation at first, but heaven does. You are glowing differently, thinking differently, walking differently. Even your silence carries authority now, because it's the silence of someone who has been in the fire and come out gold. As you listen to these words, let them soak into your heart like sunlight after a long night. This is not hype. It is holy confirmation. You are not finished. Heaven is breathing new strength into you, even now. And if these words touch your spirit, I want to invite you, not as a routine, but as an act of connection, to share this message. Somewhere, someone else is standing at the edge of giving up, and your small act could be their lifeline. When you like or subscribe, it's not about numbers, It's about keeping this flow of light alive, making sure hope keeps finding the ones who need it most. Think of it like lighting a candle from your flame. When you share the light, yours doesn't diminish, it multiplies. The darkness in this world is loud, but light travels farther when carried together. You are part of that movement, that invisible army of the chosen who lift others simply by refusing to let their own flame die out. Sorise, beloved, rise even if your knees shake, even if your voice trembles, even if no one else applauds. Rise, because heaven has already decreed it. You've been refined by fire, anointed by tears, and prepared for purpose. The morning is coming, and you will not meet it the same. You are no longer the one crawling in defeat. You are the one standing in divine resilience. The ashes beneath your feet are simply proof that you've been through something real, and yet here you are, still shining, still chosen, still loved. Let the light return. Let hope breathe again. And as it does, remember, you are living proof that God still resurrects what others thought was gone forever. He knows your intentions. Chosen one. Even when others misunderstand, heaven reads your heart with perfect clarity. God sees not only what you do, but why you do it. When people questioned your motives, when whispers twisted your kindness into weakness, heaven kept silent, not because he didn't care, but because truth doesn't defend itself. It endures until the time of unveiling. You have walked through seasons where your loyalty was misinterpreted, your sincerity dismissed. You gave without expectation, loved without calculation, forgave without applause. Yet somehow, your goodness was doubted. But hear this clearly: God never confuses purity with naivety. He knows the difference between someone pretending to love and someone who truly carries love in their spirit. And you, beloved, have that kind of heart. Every act of compassion you gave that went unnoticed is now being recorded in heaven's archives. There is not a single moment of your quiet generosity that will be forgotten. While the world rewards the visible, God rewards the invisible. What people overlook, heaven magnifies. There were days when you questioned, why does doing right still hurt? Because righteousness doesn't always lead to applause, it often leads to isolation. Yet even in those moments, the Spirit of God was whispering, keep going. Your integrity was not wasted, it was worship. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 2, all a person's ways seem pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord. That's the truth that sustains you. God sees beyond your actions and into the chambers of your heart. When you gave, even while lacking, when you chose peace instead of proving your point, when you stayed silent instead of defending your name, he saw the purity behind those decisions. Sometimes he allows misunderstanding to remain, not to hurt you, but to refine you. He tests whether you will keep loving even when unloved, giving even when unappreciated, staying faithful even when unseen. That's where the chosen are separated from the casual believers. Your heart has been stretched in those hidden places, and every test has produced tenderness instead of bitterness. Do you realize how rare that is? To still be kind after being wounded, to still serve after being used. That is not weakness, that is divine resilience. Heaven smiles on such hearts because they reflect the nature of Christ himself. You have walked through conversations that twisted your words, You have given second chances to those who would not have done the same for you. And through it all, you have not allowed your heart to harden. That is why the oil of heaven still flows through your life. A soft heart in a cruel world is one of heaven's greatest treasures. Chosen one. Don't change your nature just to protect yourself. Your purity is not a flaw to fix. It's your calling card in the spirit realm. Darkness trembles around hearts that remain pure, because purity carries clarity, and clarity exposes deception. There's a reason God continues to use you, even when you feel unqualified. It's because your intentions are aligned with love. The Lord does not search for perfect voices. He searches for honest ones. He doesn't require flawless performance. He desires faithful hearts. You have been misunderstood by many, but you are known by heaven. And soon, God will vindicate you not with words, but with results. What others doubted will be undeniable. The same mouths that spoke against you will witness the fruit of your quiet obedience. That is divine justice. It arrives softly, but it speaks loudly. Your heart has been tested in secret, and it passed. You may not have realized it, but every time you chose humility over pride, heaven promoted you invisibly. Every time you released what hurt you, instead of seeking revenge, your crown gained another jewel. So tonight, rest in this truth. Your motives have not gone unseen. The Lord Himself stands as your witness. He has measured your intentions and found them true. The opinions of others no longer define you. And now, as a simple act of faith, a declaration that your heart remains pure and open before heaven, comment 333 below. Not as a ritual, but as a prophetic symbol that you walk in divine alignment, body, soul, and spirit. 3 strands braided together, unbreakable in unity with God. When you write it, let it be a whisper of surrender. Lord, you know my heart. Heaven takes note of such confessions. The unseen world moves when faith is declared, not for show, but for truth. You are not here by accident. You were drawn to these words because heaven wanted to remind you God doesn't just see what you do, He sees why you do it. And that, beloved, is why you are chosen. The hidden conversation between you and heaven has never ceased. Chosen one, even when your prayers turned to whispers, when you stopped speaking out loud because words felt too heavy, heaven still heard you. There are times when your heart speaks louder than your mouth, and in those moments, God leans closer. You might not realize it, but your spirit has been in continuous dialogue with the divine. Every sigh, every thought that begins with, Lord, if you can hear me, has reached His throne. Heaven listens differently than humans do. People wait for polished words. God responds to raw honesty. There were nights when you said nothing at all. Yet heaven translated your silence into a cry for mercy. Every tear that touched your pillow was an unspoken prayer, and none of them were wasted. God reads emotion like scripture. He hears the sound of your sincerity before a single word leaves your lips. Chosen one, you have mistaken silence for absence. But heaven's quiet is not the same as distance. Sometimes, divine communication comes in ways your senses cannot perceive. It's in the stillness that your spirit becomes most sensitive. God often hides His loudest answers inside gentle moments, the morning light through your window, a verse that suddenly glows differently, a peace that appears without explanation. You may not hear Him in thunder, but you'll feel Him in stillness. You may not see signs in the sky, but you'll recognize him in the calm after your storm. The hidden conversation is ongoing. It has simply shifted from audible to internal, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. Chapter 19, verse 12 of the first book of Kings. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire, and after the fire came a gentle whisper. Lesh, this whisper, that's where you find him. Not in the chaos, not in the spectacle, but in the quiet that follows. Surrender. The world teaches you to chase noise, validation, and signs. But heaven teaches you to listen differently. God's voice is not always commanding. Sometimes it's comforting. It may not shake your surroundings, but it will steady your soul. You've asked before, why can't I hear him like I used to? But maybe he's not speaking less. Maybe you're simply growing more sensitive. The more mature the chosen become, the quieter heaven seems, not because communication stops, but because connection deepens. Babies need constant sound. The mature recognize presence, even in silence. This hidden conversation has been shaping you. Through it, you've learned discernment, the ability to distinguish between noise and knowing. You've begun to sense when something aligns with peace or disturbs it, when the Spirit is prompting you, or when distraction tries to pull you away. That's divine maturity. Heaven doesn't need to shout to be heard by those who have learned to listen with the heart. There are also seasons when heaven's silence is strategic. Sometimes God stops speaking, not because you're unworthy, but because he's already said what you needed. The test then becomes obedience in the quiet, trusting what he last told you until new instructions come. The chosen learn to walk not by constant confirmation, but by anchored conviction in those long, quiet nights. You've probably wondered if you were forgotten. Yet, the very longing you feel to hear his voice is evidence that you are still connected. The hunger for his presence is proof of his proximity. Dead things don't hunger, living spirits do. Remember the moments when peace suddenly returned after days of unrest that was part of the hidden conversation. Remember when a word in Scripture seemed to leap off the page. That was heaven whispering your name again. God hasn't been silent, he's been subtle. He's teaching you to find him in nuances instead of noise. You are learning a higher language, the language of stillness. It's not made of syllables, but of surrender. Every time you stop striving and simply rest in faith, you're saying, I trust you, and heaven hears it. This is how prophets are formed in the silence between questions and answers. This is how warriors are trained in the pause before the battle cry. And this is how the chosen mature, not through endless revelations, but through quiet communion that transforms their nature from restless to rooted. So if you find yourself in that still space where God seems quiet, don't panic. Listen closer. The whisper you hear in your spirit isn't your imagination, it's your invitation. Heaven is speaking softly because you've finally become quiet enough to understand. You are being prepared for deeper revelation. Soon, what has been hidden will unfold, and you will realize that the silence wasn't the absence of God, it was the preparation for his next word. The spirit of weariness has been your shadow lately, hasn't it? Chosen one, it clings quietly, not through sudden disaster, but through slow erosion, small disappointments, quiet heartbreaks, daily battles that never seem to end. It doesn't scream, it drains. And though you've tried to push through with strength, there are nights when even breathing feels like an effort. Heaven has seen this exhaustion. The divine eyes that never sleep have watched your tired hands still reaching for prayer, your weary soul still whispering gratitude even when joy felt far away. You've been carrying a weight no one else could name. People saw your smile, but they didn't see the invisible warfare behind your calm. This is the secret fatigue of the chosen, the weariness that comes not from doing wrong, but from doing right for so long, the constant giving, forgiving, believing, enduring until even faith feels like a muscle trembling under strain. But the Lord says tonight, you are not weak. You are weary from battle. And heaven is sending reinforcements, as the prophet wrote in the scroll of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Enter. This is not poetic comfort, it is divine reality. Renewal is not a myth, it's a promise. The moment you pause and turn your attention heavenward, divine breath fills your lungs again. You are not running on empty, you are being refilled. Chosen one. The fatigue you feel is not failure, it's a sign that you've been faithful. You've been pouring out for others, standing in the gap, interceding, protecting, encouraging, holding things together that others have long abandoned. But God never designed you to carry the weight of the world. He called you to trust the one who already does. It is time to release what was never meant to be your burden. The Spirit is saying, rest, not retreat. Rest is not quitting, it is worship. Rest is where you let heaven prove that grace does what strength cannot. You've been taught that productivity equals purpose, but heaven measures purpose by obedience, not exhaustion. The Father is not impressed by burnout. He is moved by surrender. The same hands that built everything around you now need to open to let peace enter, to let strength return. There's a rhythm in the kingdom, a divine breathing in and out. You've been exhaling for too long, pouring, giving, doing. Now, heaven is inviting you to inhale again, to receive, to be poured into. You are not behind, you are being rebalanced. The Spirit of God is resetting your pace so you can walk in endurance instead of panic. The tiredness that has haunted you will not remain, because divine rest is coming, not the kind that comes from sleep, but the kind that comes from alignment. Think of an eagle, as Isaiah described, not flapping in chaos, but gliding on invisible wind. That's what heaven wants to teach you now, how to soar by surrender, how to move by grace, instead of grinding in your own power. You've been flapping too hard, trying to control the wind. Now the wind himself, the Holy Spirit, is asking you to let go and let him carry you. You may not notice the shift immediately. Renewal often begins subtly. You will wake up one morning and realize the heaviness has lifted. You'll find yourself laughing again without forcing it. Peace will return, not with a shout, but with a sigh of relief. That's how heaven heals the weary. It restores gently, not dramatically. You are stepping into a new flow, where grace becomes your rhythm. The strength returning to you will not be human, it will be heavenly. The peace coming over you will not depend on circumstances, it will be anchored in presence. Do not condemn yourself for feeling tired. Even Christ rested. Even prophets paused. Weariness is not a sin. It is a signal that you need refilling. Let the same God who calls you chosen also call you to rest. And when you rest, Know this: heaven continues to move on your behalf. Angels work while you sleep. Promises advance even in silence. Nothing is lost by resting in God. In fact, that is where everything begins to grow again. So breathe deeply. Beloved, the battle will not break you. The stillness will rebuild you. The same hands that fought in fatigue will soon rise in freedom. For you are not finished, you are being renewed. The dawn is near, and your wings are unfolding once more. You remember that night, don't you? The one where everything inside you seemed to collapse all at once. You didn't even have the strength to cry anymore, you just stared into the dark, wondering if the silence meant God had left. That was the night when surrender and giving up felt almost the same. But what you didn't know then, chosen one, was that heaven was closest when you were closest to breaking. You see, breakthrough often hides behind breakdown. What you called the end, heaven called the turning point. That moment you thought you were finished was the exact place God had been leading you to, the edge where your strength fails and His begins. You have been through the valley of almost lost your faith, almost lost your mind, almost gave in to the weight of hopelessness. But somehow, something deep within you refused to quit. You didn't even understand it then, but that something was divine resilience, a flame the darkness could not snuff out. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 16, verse 33, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." Take heart, that is the command of heaven for you tonight. You are not still standing by accident. You are standing because grace would not let you fall. The storm did not destroy you because the hand of God was underneath you the entire time. You were never abandoned in the fire. You were being refined in it. Chosen one. Sometimes the breaking is mercy in disguise. You prayed for God to remove what hurt you, but instead, He removed what hindered you. You asked for Him to end the storm, but instead, He taught you how to walk on the water. Pain was not punishment, it was preparation. You were being taught how to rely fully on what cannot be shaken. There were moments when heaven's silence felt cruel, but in truth, God was trusting you with silence because He knew you would still believe without constant reassurance. The testing was not to measure your weakness, but to reveal your endurance. And you passed. Even when you thought you failed, you may look at yourself and see exhaustion, but heaven looks and sees evidence that you didn't quit, evidence that your faith still flickers, evidence that your heart, though scarred, still beats for righteousness. You are living proof that the human spirit, when intertwined with divine purpose, cannot be destroyed. What happened at your breaking point was sacred. You discovered that even in despair, you could still whisper His name. You found that tears could still be worship. You learned that God's presence is not always a shout from the heavens. Sometimes it's the strength to rise again when no one's watching. Every almost moment shaped you. Every night that didn't end, when you thought it should become a training ground for your spirit. Heaven has seen your perseverance. And now the same hands that held you through the storm are preparing to lift you into new authority. The scars you carry are not signs of defeat. They are badges of survival. You are walking proof that God keeps His promises, even when you lose sight of them. What once tried to bury you has become the soil for your testimony. The roots of your faith are deeper now because they grew through pressure. You've wondered, why did I have to go through all of this? because the chosen cannot carry shallow faith into deep purpose. The deeper the calling, the deeper the carving. You were not being punished. You were being hollowed out to carry glory that could not fit in your old self. Now, your spirit is awakening again. The fire that once dimmed is flickering back to life. The same God who brought you through yesterday is standing before your tomorrow. The valley you walked through will soon become the mountain you testify from. If this word resonates within your spirit, make this simple declaration of faith comment: I rise again. Type it, not for me, not for the crowd, but for heaven to see your agreement. Those 3 words are not just a statement, they are prophecy. When you write them, you are declaring that your season of breaking is ending, and your season of building has begun. It's your soul standing back up, your spirit whispering, I'm still here. Because you are. You survived what should have destroyed you. And now, heaven calls your survival sacred. You are rising not by strength, but by spirit. There is something sacred about this hour. Chosen one. When the world sleeps and silence settles like a soft veil, heaven begins to move. The air feels heavier, not because of fear, but because presence has entered the room. This is the midnight covenant, the moment when promises are whispered from eternity into the hearts of the faithful. It is at night that heaven often seals what the daylight could not explain. The quiet gives space for divine transaction. Every tear, every whispered, Lord, He still trusts you, becomes a signature in the invisible realm. Heaven has been writing your restoration story in the dark, line by line. While you thought nothing was happening, there's a reason God often works at midnight. Darkness heeds distractions. When light fades, so do the voices that pull you away from purpose. It's in the stillness that your spirit becomes most receptive, and heaven can finally speak without interruption. You are not awake by coincidence tonight. You are awake because something holy is unfolding. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that, in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who are called according to His purpose. That means nothing has been wasted, not the waiting, not the confusion, not the heartbreak. Every event that felt random was part of a divine equation. God has been rearranging pieces you thought were broken, turning what seemed meaningless into mosaic. Your life, chosen one, is not chaos. It is choreography. The master composer has been aligning every note, every silence, to form a symphony that will soon rise. You might not see the full picture yet, but you are standing inside a masterpiece, still being painted. Sometimes, the artist adds shadows before color. The darkness you've endured wasn't the end of the art. It was depth being added to your story. Soon, the brushstrokes of light will reveal why the shadows were necessary. Tonight, heaven is whispering again. It's time to trust me with what you don't understand. The midnight covenant is not about clarity, it's about commitment. It's the moment when faith shakes hands with the unseen and says, even without answers, you still believe. Chosen one, when you chose to keep believing in the dark, heaven marked that decision. That's when the covenant was sealed. You may not remember the exact night, but God does. The same angels who comforted you in despair are now preparing to carry fulfillment into your dawn. You're not just surviving another night, you're standing in the threshold between what was and what will be. Heaven's timing is perfect. And soon, what was whispered in darkness will be shouted in light. As this word finds you, I want to speak to your heart, not your habit. If these messages have been a light for you in your dark moments, consider passing that light forward. Like, share, and subscribe, not out of routine, but as an act of multiplication. Think of it this way: when you share this word, you're planting seeds of hope in soil you can't see. Someone, somewhere, is sitting in their own midnight hour, wondering if God still remembers them. And your simple act of sharing becomes the hand that delivers this same light into their darkness. When you subscribe, it's not about algorithms, it's about connection. It's you saying, "Keep the fire burning. I'll be here when heaven speaks again." You're joining a circle of the chosen scattered across nations, but united in one spirit, each one carrying a piece of divine light into their corner of the world. You see, even light needs a carrier. Even revelation needs a messenger. And you, beloved, are that messenger. Your story, your faith, your testimony, they are all lanterns that keep the path lit for others who are still finding their way. Heaven works through hearts, willing to pass the flame. So when you engage with this word, do it as a sacred exchange, a ripple of light, extending far beyond your screen. Every share becomes an echo of heaven's whisper. Every like, a small amen. Every subscription, a silent covenant, saying, "I will not let the light go out." So let the covenant continue tonight. Let heaven's words rest on your heart like dew before dawn. Because when morning comes, and it will come, you'll see that everything God promised in the quiet was real. The night didn't destroy you, it defined you. And when you step into the sunlight tomorrow, remember this: covenants made in darkness shine brightest when the light returns. Faith is returning to you. Chosen one, not the shallow belief of convenience, but the fierce, steady kind that grows in the soil of adversity. What doubt tried to steal, grace is now restoring. You have wrestled with questions that felt too heavy for your heart. And yet, deep within you, faith never truly died. It simply waited for the right moment to rise again. You've walked through a wilderness of uncertainty, where prayers seemed to bounce off the walls of heaven, where promises felt like faded echoes of a time when belief was easier. But what if I told you that even in your doubting, God was still holding you? What if your questions were not rebellion, but evidence of your desire to understand the one you love? There is beauty in honest doubt. It is not the opposite of faith. It is often the birthplace of deeper conviction. When you could no longer depend on routine religion, you were forced to seek real relationship. And in that pursuit, heaven smiled. Faith is not measured by the absence of fear. It is measured by movement despite it. You kept moving. Even when you felt paralyzed, you kept hoping. Even when your heart was tired, you kept showing up to the battlefield of belief when it would have been easier to walk away. That is faith in its purest form, not loud, not proud, but alive. We find in the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 13, "I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." This verse has followed you through childhood verses, sermons, and songs, but tonight, it breathes differently. It's no longer a slogan, it's survival truth. Because you've lived it. You've faced the moments where your own strength failed, and yet somehow, you kept standing. That somehow, was him. Chosen one. Faith is being restored in you, not by external miracles, but by internal revelation. The greatest proof of God's power is not always in what changes around you, but in what changes within you. Where there was despair, now there is peace. Where there was confusion, now there is quiet trust. The shift is subtle, but it's holy. The storms you've survived have recalibrated your faith. You no longer chase signs, you listen for whispers. You no longer demand answers, you rest in presence. You have learned that God doesn't owe you explanation. He offers companionship. He walks with you through the valley instead of simply removing it. Every trial you've endured has become a scripture, lived, not just read. You've experienced what it means for faith to anchor the soul, to keep you steady when everything around you shakes. You have become like a tree planted by living waters, unshaken by drought, because your roots go deep into divine trust. The faith rising within you now is quieter, stronger, unshakable. It's the kind of faith that doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. It simply knows. It knows that even when you cannot see the path, the shepherd does. It knows that when the door seems shut, the delay is divine design. It knows that when the pain returns, purpose isn't far behind. Heaven rejoices, not because your faith is perfect, but because it's alive. God delights in those who keep believing after being broken, who still pray even after disappointment, who still love Him after life didn't go as planned. That kind of faith shakes the foundations of darkness. It's faith refined, not fragile. Now, as your spirit begins to rise again, you'll notice something new. The same places that once triggered fear will now stir peace. The same words that once hurt will no longer hold power. This is evidence that your faith is healing. You're no longer reacting from pain. You're responding from purpose. Chosen one. Remember this. Faith is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about knowing that even when it's not, God still is. It's trusting that His silence is not abandonment, but alignment. It's realizing that sometimes faith isn't moving mountains, it's standing still while they crumble around you. Knowing you'll still be found, standing when the dust clears. You are being reintroduced to your own strength, the kind Heaven placed within you long before the world tried to weaken it. The doubt that once haunted you will soon serve as your testimony. You'll speak not as someone who never questioned, but as someone who questioned and still chose to believe. This is what true faith looks like, not untested, but undefeated. And tonight, that faith, your faith is rising again. The mirror of your heart has been turned toward heaven. Chosen one. This is the hour of reflection, the moment when God reveals what is within you, not to condemn, but to cleanse. You've asked Him to bless you, to elevate you, to open doors. But before increase comes, there must be inspection. The Lord never anoints what He has not purified. There are seasons when He holds up that mirror, and what you see surprises you. Maybe the reflection shows fear where you thought there was faith, or fragments of pride hiding beneath pain. It can be uncomfortable to face, but it is holy discomfort, the kind that leads to transformation. Heaven reveals not to humiliate, but to heal. You have been walking with God long enough to know that He never exposes without the intention to restore. When He reveals what's broken, it's because He's ready to mend it. When He shows you your weakness, It's because strength is already waiting behind it. This is the divine rhythm of refinement. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 10. I, the Lord, search the heart and examine the mind, to reward each person according to their conduct, according to what their deeds deserve. This is not a threat, it is a promise. It means that the same God who searches your heart also rewards its purity. He sees every hidden act of love, every quiet sacrifice, every moment you chose forgiveness when anger would have felt easier. He knows where your motives are, sincere, and He honors them, even when no one else notices. Chosen one. Tonight, heaven is polishing your heart like a diamond under pressure. The dullness of disappointment, the fog of past wounds, the dust of comparison, it's all being wiped away. What will remain is a heart that reflects divine light clearly. The world doesn't need more perfection, it needs more purity. And that's exactly what heaven is producing in you. You have come too far to settle for surface faith. God is calling you deeper, into the kind of transparency that allows Him to move freely within you. It takes courage to face the parts of yourself that need healing. But the chosen never hide from holy surgery. They step willingly onto heaven's table and say, "Search me, Lord, make me new again." And He does, slowly, gently, thoroughly. He replaces bitterness with compassion, fear with confidence, and shame with grace. The cracks in your heart are not flaws, they are places where His light will shine through. This cleansing season is sacred because it prepares you for promotion. Before every elevation, there is examination. Before every crown, there is cleansing. God is making sure that when He lifts you higher, your heart will remain humble. You will lead with compassion, not competition, with grace, not pride. Chosen one. Do not be afraid of what He's showing you right now. The reflection may sting, but it will not destroy you. You are seeing truth through the eyes of mercy, not judgment. Every flaw revealed is an invitation for renewal. This process may feel heavy, but that's because transformation carries weight. Heaven never renovates gently, it rebuilds completely. And you are being rebuilt, not into someone new, but into the truest version of who you've always been in the Father's eyes. When you look back later, you'll thank God for this reflection season. You'll realize it was never about what you lost, but what was being cleared to make room for glory. You'll see how divine love corrected you, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. And if this word reaches deep into your soul, if you feel heaven speaking directly to your inner being, take a moment of sacred agreement. Comment 440 ve'arba below, not as a pattern or a ritual, but as a prophetic act. The number 4 in Scripture represents stability, foundation, and divine order. When you type 444, you are declaring, "Lord, align my heart with your order. Establish my foundation in truth." It's not about superstition, it's about surrender. Heaven honors declarations of alignment. When you move in agreement, things begin to settle, straighten, and solidify in your life. You are saying to God, "Cleanse me and make me ready for what comes next." And He will, because a purified heart always attracts divine favor. The moment you align, doors will open, not by force, but by faith. For God always rewards those who allow Him to search them and still choose to stand before Him unhidden. So look again into that divine mirror. Beloved, don't fear what you see. The reflection is not your shame, it's your becoming. The fog is beginning to lift. Chosen one, after long nights of uncertainty, something within you is starting to remember who you are. The confusion that once clouded your steps is clearing, and the light of purpose is returning to your path. What once felt meaningless is aligning, and what once felt wasted is finding new value. For a long time, you lived in survival mode, just trying to make it through each day, not realizing that endurance was quietly shaping your destiny. You thought your waiting was wasted time, but heaven was using it to recalibrate your vision. You are not the same person who first entered that valley. You have changed, grown softer in spirit, yet stronger in faith. You now see through wiser eyes. When God calls the chosen, He rarely reveals the full picture. He gives glimpses enough to draw you forward, but not enough to eliminate faith. And that is what He's been doing with you. Every closed door, every delay, every not yet was designed to train your ears to hear direction, not distraction. The more you waited, the sharper your discernment became. You are awakening to a truth that has been echoing in your spirit all along. You were never forgotten, only prepared. Destiny does not unfold quickly, it unfolds precisely. God does not rush greatness, He refines it. You had to walk through uncertainty so that you would learn to rely not on circumstances, but on His voice. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 37, verse 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in His way. And your steps, even the hesitant ones, have been divinely ordered. Every place you've stumbled, every turn that felt wrong, was still part of the map. You were never lost, you were being led. Sometimes God allows detours not to confuse you, but to protect you from paths that would have destroyed your purpose too early. Chosen one. This awakening of purpose is not about ambition, it's about alignment. Heaven is not calling you to do more, it's calling you to become more. The world tells you that success is measured by movement, but heaven measures it by obedience. God is not asking for endless activity, He's asking for availability. In this new clarity, you'll start to recognize divine patterns. The things that once frustrated you will suddenly make sense. You'll see that the people who left had to leave for your growth, that the pain you endured carved space for deeper compassion, that the doors which closed were never yours to walk through. You'll begin to move differently, not in panic, but in peace. Your confidence will no longer come from what you can control, but from who controls you. You will stop asking, "Why me?" and start declaring, "Use me." That shift from question to commission is what marks the chosen. This awakening is not loud, it's gentle. It doesn't come with thunder, it comes with knowing. You'll wake up one morning and realize you no longer feel the weight of what used to crush you. You'll sense the Holy Spirit whispering through your thoughts, weaving direction into your decisions. You won't need signs to confirm His will, His peace will confirm it for you. Purpose does not arrive overnight. It unfolds like dawn. Light creeps in gradually, revealing pieces of the landscape bit by bit. You are in that moment now, standing at the edge of revelation. What was once hidden is beginning to show itself, And what was once confusing is starting to connect. You are remembering that your calling is not something you chase, it's something you carry. It's not found in applause, but in assignment. Your purpose is not about being seen, it's about being sent. And you, chosen one, have been in training for your sending season. Every test you've endured has equipped you. Every silence has sharpened your hearing. Every loss has increased your compassion. You are ready to move, not by impulse, but by instruction. Heaven has been waiting for this version of you, the one who no longer runs ahead, but walks in step. The one who doesn't need recognition to remain faithful. The one who understands that calling is not a crown of pride, but a cross of purpose. Now that the fog has lifted, stand tall. Lift your eyes again toward heaven. The path before you may not be easy, but it is exactly right. You are stepping into alignment with everything that was once only a dream. The same God who led you through confusion will lead you into completion. You are awake now, awake to destiny, awake to design, awake to the truth that you were chosen not because of your perfection, but because of your willingness to obey. And as long as your heart remains open, nothing can stop what heaven has begun in you. Freedom begins quietly. Chosen one. It doesn't always come with trumpets or grand gestures. It begins in the unseen corners of your soul, where chains start to loosen one link at a time. You might not even realize it at first. One morning, you simply wake up, and the heaviness that once sat on your chest feels lighter. The memories that used to sting begin to soften. The name that once brought pain no longer has power. This is the breaking of chains. Every chain that once wrapped around your heart was forged from something: fear, guilt, shame, control, or old wounds that time couldn't heal. But no matter how strong the chains have seemed, they were never stronger than the God who called you. Heaven does not break what it intends to bless. The chains were only there to remind you of your need for freedom, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. Chapter 8, verse 36 of the Gospel of John. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And those words are not metaphor, they are declaration. When divine truth enters a human heart, captivity loses jurisdiction. What used to imprison you can no longer define you. The habits that once held you in place start to lose their grip because grace is rewriting the rules. Freedom, however, rarely begins on the outside. It starts internally in forgiveness, in surrender, in the quiet courage to release what you cannot control. Some of your chains have been emotional, invisible to everyone but God. The constant overthinking, the guilt you keep revisiting, the fear that tells you you're not enough. These are the invisible prisons of the chosen. But heaven has stepped into your cell tonight. Gaze in, hunt. Do you know why your process has taken so long? Because real freedom isn't just removal, it's replacement. God doesn't simply take away bondage. He fills the empty space with peace so that nothing else can occupy it again. The emptiness left by trauma is being refilled with purpose. The silence left by rejection is being filled with affirmation from above. The breaking often hurts before it heals. When the Israelites left Egypt, freedom meant walking through unfamiliar wilderness. When Lazarus came out of the tomb, he still had grave clothes to remove. When Christ rose from death, even the guards trembled because old authority was collapsing. So it is with you. Every time a chain breaks, The world around you shifts. The enemy loses another claim, and heaven gains another testimony. Chosen one. Some of your chains have names: comparison, fear of failure, fear of love, or even fear of success. You've worn them so long, they've started to feel like part of your identity. But you are not your wound, not your weakness, not your worst moment. The real you has been buried beneath the noise of those false labels. Tonight, heaven calls your true name again. Freedom is not loud, it's steady. It's the sound of a mind at rest, a heart unafraid to love again, a soul no longer trying to earn what it already has. Divine approval. God never required perfection to set you free. He required surrender. This is why the enemy fought you so hard. Chains keep you predictable, but freedom makes you dangerous. A liberated soul can speak life into others. A healed heart carries authority that cannot be faked. Once you step into freedom, you begin to unlock others just by walking in the room. That's why your deliverance matters not only for you, but for those attached to your destiny. So breathe deeply. Beloved, the air feels different now because the atmosphere around you has changed. The spiritual weight that once pressed on your shoulders is lifting. What was heavy to carry is becoming light. The walls that confined your joy are cracking, and the sound you hear in your spirit is the echo of liberation. This freedom will not require striving. You don't have to prove you're healed to stay healed. You just need to keep choosing truth over memory, peace over panic, trust over control. Every time you do, another invisible shackle falls away. Soon, you will look back and realize that freedom didn't arrive in a single moment. It unfolded gradually through countless small obediences. And when you do, gratitude will flood you like sunlight through a window you forgot could open. For you are no longer the captive. You are the carrier of freedom, and wherever you go, chains will start to rattle at your presence. Because light has authority where darkness once ruled. The mantle is descending. Chosen one. You can feel it, a weight that is not heavy, but holy. It rests upon your shoulders like a cloak woven in heaven's light. Every tear, every trial, every unseen act of obedience was a thread stitched into this moment. You are stepping into your true inheritance, not as someone barely surviving, but as one crowned with divine authority. The mantle of the chosen is never earned, it is entrusted. It carries both glory and gravity. To wear it is to carry heaven's heartbeat into the earth. When you speak, your words won't just comfort, they will shift. When you walk into a room, peace will follow like a shadow that cannot be separated from you. You've carried crosses long before this crown was visible. You've stood in storms and kept praying when others ran for shelter. That is why heaven trusts you with this mantle now. Anointing without endurance becomes arrogance, but endurance produces oil that never runs dry. Scripture says in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 2, verse 21, those who cleanse themselves from what is dishonorable will be instruments for special purposes, made holy, useful to the Master. You are that instrument. You were never meant to blend in. Heaven marked you for impact before you ever understood what calling meant. Every time you felt different, it was divine distinction, not rejection. God separated you not to isolate you, but to prepare you. And now, as this mantle settles, something shifts permanently. You will begin to notice an increase in awareness, dreams that speak clearer, intuition that sharpens, peace that anchors you, even in chaos. This is the mark of divine trust. Heaven does not give such power to those who seek control, but to those who have surrendered completely. But let this truth root deeply within you. The mantle is not for display, it's for distribution. The oil that covers you is meant to pour out. What you've received must flow to others, because that is how the kingdom multiplies. And here, I want to speak gently, yet truthfully. If these messages have spoken life into you, if the words have met you in moments when silence felt unbearable, consider helping that light reach others. Like, share, and subscribe, not as a routine click, but as an act of ripple making. Every time you engage, you're extending the reach of a word that might become someone else's rescue. Think of it like casting seeds into wind. You may never know where they land, but heaven does. Each share is a seed. Each like is a spark. Each comment is a footprint on sacred digital soil, marking that faith passed this way. And if you feel led to donate, do it not out of pressure, but out of partnership. Imagine it as adding oil to the lamp that keeps this light burning across the world. You are not funding noise, you are fueling ministry. You are saying to heaven, I believe in this voice that awakens hearts. Every act of giving, big or small, is a whisper that says, keep shining this light forward. You see, chosen ones don't consume light, they cultivate it. The mantle you now wear connects you to a larger movement of souls who have chosen to build instead of complain, to heal instead of hate, to sow instead of spectate. So, if this word finds you at a moment of renewal, I invite you to comment something that flows from your spirit. Share what part of your journey this spoke to, or what truth resonated deeply. When you do, you don't just respond, you strengthen someone else who might be reading in silence. Comments become testimonies, testimonies become confirmations, confirmations become courage. Chosen one. This mantle you carry isn't a finish line, it's a beginning. The same God who anointed prophets and warriors has touched your life with purpose. You are now a torchbearer, carrying light into places too dark for comfort, too cold for faith. But you won't burn out, because the fire within you comes from heaven's altar, not human effort. Walk with humility, but don't walk small. Lift your head, but keep your knees bent in prayer. You are not just blessed, you are appointed. And with that appointment comes both beauty and responsibility to keep the flame alive, to be the voice that reminds others, God still moves. So, as this word closes, let your heart whisper, use me. Lord, let the mantle not rest on me in vain, because when heaven finds a willing vessel, miracles multiply. And when the chosen walk in unity, even the darkness begins to tremble. The dawn has finally come. Chosen one. What once felt endless now has light at its edges. The first rays of morning slip across the horizon of your soul, touching the ruins of what once was and turning them into altars of remembrance. This is not just a new day, it is a new dimension of grace. What you endured in the night has prepared you for the brilliance of this moment. You can feel it, can't you? The heaviness that once clung to your heart has loosened. The air feels clearer, your spirit lighter. That's because Heaven has shifted your atmosphere. The battles fought in secret have produced visible fruit. The prayers that once felt unanswered are now blooming in ways you couldn't have imagined. The reward of the chosen rarely comes wrapped in gold or applause. It comes in peace. Peace after chaos. Stillness after storms. Clarity after confusion. And you, beloved, are stepping into that reward. The ancient words recorded in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 12. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain in season and bless the work of your hands. That promise is unfolding even now. The heavens that once felt silent are opening. The same rain that once drenched you in sorrow is now watering your harvest. God is redeeming time itself, turning every delay into acceleration. You are about to see fruit from places you thought were barren. Chosen one. Divine reward doesn't just come as blessing, it comes as balance. The years that broke you are being matched by years that build you. The very ground where you once wept will yield joy. What felt like wasted energy will soon prove to be eternal investment. Heaven has been multiplying your endurance, and now it returns to you as abundance. You have been faithful with little, and heaven is trusting you with more. But this more is not about possessions, it's about purpose. You are being given greater influence because your heart has remained humble. You have shown that success will not corrupt your compassion, and for that, heaven smiles. You will begin to notice divine alignments, people, places, and opportunities suddenly weaving together in ways that only God could orchestrate. Where doors were once locked, you'll find them swinging open effortlessly. Where you once struggled to make things happen, now favor will flow freely, without striving. But remember this, your reward is not a trophy to display, it's a tool to steward. The blessings being released are not just for your comfort, they are for your calling. Heaven blesses the chosen, not so they can live above others, but so they can lift others higher. You are being resourced for responsibility, not recognition. You have been promoted in the unseen first. Heaven's record of your faithfulness has already declared you ready. Even before the world takes notice, the anointing on your life has matured quietly. And now the season of manifestation begins. In this dawn of reward, you will walk differently. You will no longer chase validation. It will meet you. You will no longer fear lack. Provision will flow. You will no longer shrink from opportunity. Boldness will rise in you like the morning sun. But the greatest reward is not external, it is internal. You are finally at peace with your story. The pain, the losses, the unanswered questions, they no longer sting as they once did. You can look at them and say, it was necessary. That understanding is sacred. It is the highest form of wisdom. The same hands that once trembled in fear will now build in faith. The same eyes that once wept in confusion will now see with clarity. You are being restored in layers emotionally, spiritually, relationally. Heaven's order is returning to every fragment of your life. Chosen one, take a deep breath and feel it, the calm after the storm, the warmth after the long cold. You have crossed through fire and flood, yet nothing essential was lost. Only the unnecessary burned away. What remains is pure gold, strong enough to carry blessing without breaking under its weight. This dawn marks not the end of your journey, but the beginning of fruitfulness. The soil of your life has been tilled by tears. but it will now yield joy beyond what you asked or imagined. God is not only rewarding your endurance, He is redeeming your years. So, walk into this day with quiet confidence. You don't have to prove anything anymore. The light speaks for itself. And as it touches your path, remember, it's the same light that once seemed delayed. It was never denial, it was timing. Morning has come, beloved, and it came exactly when heaven said it would. You've come far, chosen one farther than you ever thought possible. Every step, every scar, every sleepless night has brought you to this sacred point of understanding. The journey has never been just about surviving the fire. It's been about discovering who you truly are inside it. And now, as the light of revelation surrounds you, heaven whispers a final truth. You were never chosen because you were perfect. You were chosen because your heart was willing. The heart known by heaven is not spotless. It is surrendered. God never searched for flawless people. He searched for available ones. You, with your trembling faith and quiet endurance, were exactly what He was looking for. The Creator who spoke galaxies into being also saw your small acts of faith, each one a spark that kept darkness at bay. There were moments when you thought, surely He must have picked the wrong person, but heaven smiled, because it knew that your very humility was your qualification. God can do more with an imperfect vessel that's open than with a perfect one that's closed. That's why you were marked. That's why you've been refined so intensely, because the heart within you has always belonged to Him. As the Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 7, "But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us." You are that vessel of clay, carrying treasure greater than gold, the light of divine presence shining through the cracks of your humanity. Every fracture you once hid has become a window for His glory. What you thought disqualified you has turned into evidence of grace. Now, that season has come. The pieces fit. The fog has lifted. The lessons make sense. You can finally see how every detour carried you here, to this intersection of peace and purpose. You no longer have to chase after meaning, because you've become it. Your very life is the testimony. The world may never fully understand the depth of your transformation, but heaven does. Angels have watched in awe as you turned pain into praise, weakness into worship, loss into light. They witnessed the nights you almost quit and the mornings you rose anyway. You became a living sermon, unwritten, unplanned, yet powerfully preached through perseverance. Now, your heart beats in rhythm with divine timing. You've learned how to listen without panic, how to move without fear. The storms that once drowned your peace now simply remind you how to swim. You have grown into stillness, not as an escape from battle, but as mastery within it. That is spiritual maturity, the ability to stand calm while the wind howls, knowing the one who commands the waves lives within you. This is the moment heaven always intended, not the arrival of perfection, but the awakening of peace. The heart known by heaven beats differently. It beats slower, steadier, anchored in the assurance that love has already won. You can now forgive with freedom. Because you understand how much you've been forgiven, you can love boldly. Because fear no longer chains you, you can walk humbly. Because you've seen what pride destroys, you've become what the journey was meant, to produce a reflection of mercy in motion. And though the journey continues beyond this page, Something has shifted permanently. The war that once raged inside you has ended. The voice of condemnation has gone quiet. The same heart that once bled from betrayal now beats with compassion for others who bleed. You carry wisdom forged in suffering, gentle, unpretentious, yet powerful enough to break yokes in those who cross your path. Chosen one, you have been entrusted with empathy that costs something. That's why your presence changes atmospheres. People may not understand why they feel lighter around you, but it's because heaven's peace flows through you. You are no longer the one searching for light. You are the light, not by pride, but by participation in His Spirit. When you speak now, your words carry healing because they come from a heart that's been healed. When you walk, your steps leave peace because they're ordered by divine intention. Your life has become a sanctuary, a place where others encounter grace without judgment, love without agenda, truth without cruelty. And perhaps that was the whole purpose all along. Not for you to be famous, but for you to be faithful. Not for you to climb high, but to walk holy. Not for you to impress heaven, but to embody it. You are living proof that divine love chooses the humble, lifts the broken, and transforms the willing. The heart known by heaven doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to stay soft. And yours, after everything, still is. The journey doesn't end here, it deepens. From this point on, you will walk in quiet authority, clothed not in fear, but in peace. The world may not call your name, but heaven already has, and that is enough. Chosen one, if these words have walked beside you, if they've met you in quiet places, lifted you when hope felt thin, then let this final moment be one of connection, not conclusion. The journey doesn't truly end here. It simply unfolds into the next sunrise. If this message stirred something in your spirit, share it as a ripple of light for someone still standing in the dark. You never know whose heart might need the same reminder you received tonight. Like this message to keep the flame visible in the noise of the world, and subscribe so that each new word of hope finds you without you needing to search for it. And when you comment, don't just write to be seen, write to speak life. Tell what line, what truth, what whisper touched your soul. Your words might be the confirmation another soul was praying for. You are part of something divine now, a flow of grace that moves through voices, hearts, and hands across the world. Keep that light alive. Beloved, the world still needs what only you can carry.